Listen, everybody, it is a rare occasion that both of us show up for a pre-show bumper, but today we both have something to talk about.
We're both here, and
Yep.
it's going to be an even better bumper than usual because we're both here and we're both really good at them. So, Brian, you have something to say.
I do. Out today is the fourth Starbomb album, Starbomb Boom, Rise of Lyrics. So there's a new music video for Kiss the Elden Ring, which is animated by the one, the only Shuchiro, and you can get the album. You can still order a physical copy, and you can go listen to it, and we've got some more music videos coming out. But yes, it's a big day. It's the fourth Starbomb album. It's been more than 10 years since the first, and about 5 years, I think. 5 years since the last one. Big day. Big day. So go check that album out because I'm very proud of it. And this is an unusual Starbomb one because I, myself, rap or sing or whatever you call it on the album.
There are some absolute bangers on this album,
Yeah.
and I'm stoked that people get to finally hear it.
Me
and I'm
too,
proud
but
of you.
lately-
Congrats.
Thank you. But congratulations are in order for you as well because you have something to discuss today.
I mean, I didn't do anything, but it's an exciting thing. Have you played the game Homebody and wish that you had a version of it you could hold in your physical hands and touch
hell
and caress
yes.
as you sleep at night and lay it on your pillow and stare at it longingly? Now you can, or at least will be able to soon. Today, you can start pre-ordering the physical limited run. The company is called Limited Run. PS5 or Switch physical release of Homebody, the game. Very cool little item, and as the name of the company suggests, it is a limited run. So if you want to get one, pre-order it. Jory
Where
is
do
watching
they-
judgmentally.
Where do they order it? Do you know? What is it?
LimitedRunGames.com. That's where you get it.
Yeah.
Jory is off mic, whispering into our ears, guiding us in this bumper.
Yes. I think it's going to be, I'm very excited about that. I'm, as you know, a huge fan of physical release. So I think that's going to be a big thing for everyone.
All right, everybody, enjoy the episode.
Bye.
Really good. Jory, we need you to weigh in on a thing that we started talking about last week, which was when you were a child and you were going trick-or-treating and you get to the end of the night where you swap candy with your friends, what are you trading away and what are you trading to get?
And also, what are your costume? I want to know what your Jory Halloween looks like.
Yeah.
Costume-wise.
So when I was a kid and my mom would like make effort to starting it out by making it sound like I'm saying something passive aggressive about my mom. This is not going well already. My mom
We're gonna
made
send
me
it to your
costumes
mom.
when I was fuck, Nita's gonna be so pissed. When I was like 4, I would get like my mom would make costumes, so I was like a Ninja Turtle and then I was like Sonic the Hedgehog with like great effort. And then after that, I was one of those kids where every year I would fiddle faddle around. Fiddle Faddle is one of the ones I would trade away, by the way. But
I like Fiddle Faddle, but please continue.
Sorry, buddy.
It's not a personal affront. I'm saying I like it.
I feel like Brian's usually a little more passive aggressive than this, and when he just comes at me like this, I don't know what to do about it.
Saying I have a different preference than you is not a personal attack.
He's just being so heated. I don't even know how to start.
This is
Yeah,
what
I know.
I do. If you don't like
Let
exactly
him
the things
speak.
I like, Jory, you're a bad person. Anyway, please continue.
The joke I almost made was, well, then I like Kamala Harris. It just took a little too long to come out. But
That's good. That's good.
Every year I trick-or-treated after I was like 6. I was one of those kids where I was just like a ghoul. I would just like get like gore makeup from the Halloween store at 75% off and would just like bloody myself up, and that's all I would do. But it's great. I love doing it.
Cool guy move.
You know, for years we've talked about doing a special effects gore makeup day. We need to do that for real.
Can you do that well, Layton? Gore makeup?
Sure, why not? Get some
Yeah, I don't know. It's
toilet
different than
paper
makeup, isn't it?
and some Ben Nye. I mean, they're like pretty basic
The science
techniques.
guy?
Yeah.
No,
yes.
Ben Nye is the guy where you win his money.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I The biggest one that I didn't like.
Jory. Bueller.
Somebody must have done an edit. Remember when nobody would shut up about like Mueller, the Mueller report? I feel like somebody must have done an edit of that, right? But not Ben Stein himself, because I'm sure Ben Stein
he's a Republican,
Mueller.
I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Bottle caps was one of the big ones that I traded away. Even though I feel like if I tried them now, maybe I would like them. They were like big Sweet Tarts or Smarties, except they tasted like shit.
They're almost closer to Necco wafers. They're a little crimped at the edges. I don't hate them, but they're not great.
Well, because they were made to taste like sodas, so they tasted like root beer and like cream soda and shit.
Yeah, there's like a grape and an orange.
What about a line of candies? It's really huge, but all organic, like candies, and they're called Big Naturals.
Yeah.
I think that would do numbers.
Are they gummies? Are they hard? Are they soft?
They're soft and they're a little bit pointed at the top.
So like a little meringue, kind of.
I like that. Yeah.
I co-sign this idea completely while saying nothing specific about it.
That's all I need. All right, moving on. Anyway, I interrupted you to make my joke.
So what was the most desired candy for you?
I don't know. I don't have a real... I mean, Reese's Cups is the obvious answer.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Speaking of Big Naturals.
I have a feeling those, even in the early 90s, those probably had a lot of artificial ingredients, TBH. I mean, it was mostly like paraffin wax.
I'm like losing my taste for Reese's products, which is really devastating for me as somebody who...
Really?
Yeah, I have like, I've gotten bags of Halloween candy as I do. That's like the one way I celebrate October. And I have... all that's left are like the pumpkins and the cups, and I eat them, and I'm trying to recapture the mealiness of them for some reason is really getting me.
Yeah, they're definitely mealier than they used to be.
Also, it's been hot, and it's gotten them kind of melty, and I like them when they're really, really firm. So I should just toss them in the fridge. Yeah. But still, it's not... I love Take Fives. Take Fives, fuck, but it's because the peanut butter is not the star of the show.
That is true. It's a nice little hint.
Yeah.
Lifelong controversial take of mine that I now want both of your opinion on is that I like Reese's Cups pretty well. I love peanut butter, the stuff. And like, I like, peanut butter and I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. What I almost said was I like peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. A weird thing I like that most people do not. I hate
Is that a
peanut
thing?
butter.
That's an actual thing you like, peanut butter and pickle?
Yeah, it's really good.
Well,
I've been meaning to try it forever. It's two things I like.
Yeah, you get like some mild sweetness from the peanut butter, but not too much. It cuts against the acidity of the pickles.
I could see that. Yeah. All right, please continue.
Probably a little gross, but I love it. I hate peanut butter in desserts other than peanut butter cups. Like basically any combination, like peanut butter cookies, most peanut butter and chocolate. I really don't like it, and I can't even explain why. I don't really have the language for it. I've just always felt that way.
I think that is a fair take. It's not that hot take. I like peanut butter and vanilla more than peanut butter and chocolate.
Whoa.
I think peanut butter vanilla is a much better flavor profile than peanut butter and chocolate. Like ice cream. Like ice cream.
Okay.
Like a peanut butter vanilla ice cream, I think is vastly better than a peanut butter chocolate ice cream.
I think I have to agree with Jory. I find myself liking chocolate less and less, so maybe that's part of it, where it's just like it's too much for me. And I used to balk at adults being like, I can't really eat chocolate anymore, and I'm getting there. But there's a local ice cream place in Wilmington called Cole's that has the best soft serve I've ever had in my life, or not soft serve. It's just really fucking good. But they had a little like layered thing called a peanut butter log. And the thing that really bothers me about like pints of ice cream or when you get an ice cream sundae type thing is that they never put stuff on the bottom or the middle. So by the time you get to the bottom, it's just like, this is vanilla ice cream.
Right.
The peanut butter log was dialed in. It would be like at the very bottom, a shit ton of chocolate, a shit ton of peanut butter, then ice cream, then another layer, ice cream, another layer. So you were just getting that beautiful little dip. I'm so nostalgic for that.
Yeah.
That sounds dope. Did either of you ever have Viennetta?
No.
I
What
felt
is
like
that? Is
there was a
it
chance Brian
directed
had.
by Paul Verhoeven?
What I was going to say is,
Oh, I haven't seen that movie, so I didn't get the joke. I'm sorry.
I started watching like half an hour of it. It's,
It sounds like a rough watch.
The joke I was about to make was the girl from Killing Eve.
I see the vision.
Yeah, Villanelle.
Viennetta looks
Oh, okay.
Right,
I have
okay.
watched
fucking
that show.
dope. What is this? Is this good? Because it looks yummy.
So, in
Viennetta.
it is, this opinion is very likely flavored by the fact that I was a child, and so anything was delicious. It was really good in the 90s, and pretty recently, it was discontinued for a really long time in the US, and then pretty recently, the Good Humor Company started making it again, and it's complete dog shit. Like, I think like it was...
I have seen this. I know what this is.
The actual product, I feel like, was defined by having at least some layering of flavors, like there were peanuts and stuff. Mm-hmm. The new one that Good Humor makes is just white ice cream.
This.
Not white ice cream and like that terrible waxy chocolate. So it's awful. But there's Eastern European companies that make it and import it, at least here in like the greater Glendale area. Where there's it's a ripoff one called Violetta that is really, really good. And
is it supposed to be like Viennese? Is that?
I would guess
the
that's the premise, but it just absolutely isn't. Like, there's nothing authentic about it at all. But it's dope. It's like an ice cream cake, but just ice cream.
Leighton, what were your Halloween costumes? I think we've talked about this in the past, but I just can't remember the answer.
I loved making them with my dad. I found the perfect sized box that I used several years in a row because one year I was a quote unquote serial killer. So my dad and I designed like a cereal box that had like Freddy and Michael on it. And then I made a Freddy Krueger glove with spoons instead of blades on it.
Yeah, for that movie,
So that was adorable.
Freddy versus Zhivago.
God, we have to explain that to Jory in a second. But then the next year, this is around when the iPhone had like first come out. We turned it into an iPhone, and it had like the box had this stupid little flap that we made at the top. So like I went to the school dances for Halloween and stuff, and I could have my little Coke can sitting right up here. And then a kid ran up and was like, "Does this iPhone work?" And like shoved his hand through one of the app buttons and ran away.
Come on.
It was sick though. I love that costume.
That's cool.
That's a great bit.
Yeah. I can't think of what my other ones were. But yeah, what about you, Brian? What was your best Halloween costume?
Well, for a few years, because I owned a monk's robe, I went as Rasputin because I couldn't think of anything better. And I was very into that period of like Russian history.
Wait, are you serious? Are you not kidding?
Yes, I'm not kidding at all. Like I'd say 7th through 9th, maybe even 10th grades, I just went as Rasputin every year.
The song was already out, right? The Rasputin.
That song's been out. Yeah, I think that's even late 70s.
Okay, I thought so.
Wow.
The Boney M song you're referring to.
I didn't know the artist, but that rips.
Yes, it's Boney M.
Was part of the appeal the legend of the massive dick?
Well, a gentleman never kisses and tells, but...
Well,
Never
the massive
rests
dick
in
that also
pieces.
reputedly was cut off at some point, right?
Oh yeah, you can see pictures of it in a jar. It's massive.
Ugh, that's awful.
Yes, that, and also had... I remember reading something that said it had a judiciously placed wart, which...
Ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was how you meant.
Well, yes, indeed.
That's awful.
Which I was like, okay, look, I don't understand how that would be appealing, but I don't know.
What
Do
are
you
warts? Is
have-
it fungal?
They're viral,
Viral.
aren't they? A kind of virus?
I hate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Anyway, speaking of dick warts, I need to make a call.
Wait. We need to explain the Zhivago thing to Jory because
I agree. I was going to stop
you
this
wanna
down
do
at some
it?
point.
You do it.
Well, Leighton and I were playing a Sporkle game yesterday where it was a very easy game where they gave you part of a movie title and a year, and you had to find the last word. You had to pick from a collection of words, all beginning with the same letter, what the last word of the title was. So
Okay,
it
that
was
sounds fun.
like, a bunch of J words, and it was Freddy versus blank, and you had to pick Jason or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so
dope.
like Freddy versus Juggalo. Gigolo,
yeah.
excuse me. No, that's a G. I'm an idiot.
what were the other J ones? A Dawn of Justice, right? Batman v Superman, Dawn of blank. Anyway, out of curiosity, we went to the, what was it, XYZ
yeah,
section.
I just put it in the chat.
And yep, it's in the private chat there on StreamYard, Jory. And there were some really good options. My favorite was the sequel to Malcolm X, Malcolm XXL, which I think is a very funny idea. But Zhivago showed up, of course, in the Z's, Dr. Blank. And then it became a running joke where you just kind of, we were generating some like really good ones. Die Hard with a vampire. I remember being really,
The good,
really
the
funny.
bad, and the vampire.
Yeah. The point was, it was an easy game, but a fun bit generating machine.
Yeah. And so with Zhivago on there, it became impossible not to just throw Zhivago into every single movie title.
Yes. Have you seen Dr. Zhivago ever?
I haven't.
Neither of us has either. What is it about? What do you think Dr. Zhivago is about as a film?
Trying to remember what that even would be. Oh my god, I'm so mad at myself. What's that Burt Reynolds movie?
Smokey and the Bandit?
I should have been more specific.
Boogie Nights?
The one where he has a lot of chest hair and facial hair.
That's all of it,
narrows it
isn't it?
down.
Oh my god, it's not even Burt Reynolds. What's happening to me? It's Sean Connery.
Oh,
As,
Zardoz.
With the giant head, yeah. Oh my
Zardoz.
god.
Yeah.
Can we edit this out?
No.
And in fact,
No.
that would be a good one for this game. Oh wait, no, it's one word, so it wouldn't be a good one for this game. But
Also,
I'm
if you
picturing-
had just said the movie with the giant head, I think we would have known what you were
Yes,
talking
that's right. The
I
John
know, I
Borman
fucked
movie
up.
with the giant head.
I feel like Dr. Zhivago is just that, where it's like a very like hallucinatory social fable sci-fi thing.
See, my guess, for some reason, I've always thought that it was in the same vein as like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari,
makes
solely
sense.
because there's doctor in the title, and also Zhivago is a
Yeah.
funny name. No, it's like Russian World War II.
Russian Revolution. No, it's Russian Revolution.
Oh.
So it's even early. It's actually the Rasputin era, I assume.
Wow, is Dr. Zhivago a historical figure that we're fools for not knowing?
I don't.
That we collectively are fools for not knowing? I'm
I
not taking
don't
the blame for
think
this.
so. No. I mean, it's a. Is it a romance? Yeah, it's a romance with a hot Omar Sharif. Oh, and look at Rod Steiger, Alec Guinness,
Alec Guinness.
someone named Rita Tushingham, which I really like. By the way, we went for Rachel for her birthday on Monday. I'm just going to assume we both texted her. We went to the Forest Lawn Cemetery.
Brian!
Yeah, what? Yes, Jory?
You know how my brain works and that I actually feel bad at bits like that.
Yeah, me too.
Which is why I do them. But Jory, I think you get a pass, of course. You know Rachel tangentially, but if Layden had forgotten, that would be a much more serious crime. But
yeah, I
I'm
totally
sure- I'm
remembered
sure-
and
of
texted
course
your
you did.
wife.
But she wanted to go to Forest Lawn Cemetery, so we went there and saw
Which one?
the big one, kind of
In
Burbank
Glendale?
adjacent,
On Zoo Drive?
near that. Yeah,
Fuck
okay.
Zoo
exactly.
Drive.
Yeah, wow.
I also hate Zoo Drive.
yeah.
You miss one exit and then you are stuck there.
Your host.
It's
yes,
like
it's the
11
worst.
minutes easily.
Yeah.
But we went to the graves. She wanted to see Carrie Fisher's grave because they share a birthday. Monday was Rachel's birthday. I think you both probably called her. And so she wanted to see Carrie Fisher's grave because they share a birthday. And so we went to see Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds' grave because they are buried in the same place. And we also saw Liberace, who has a really great grave. Ronnie James Dio.
Whoa, hold
awesome.
on, this rules.
Yep. Ronnie James Dio's grave has a giant painting of some kind over it. It's very odd.
Wow.
Who else? Lou Rawls,
Okay, that's dope.
Betty Davis. God, who else? Walter Lantz.
Oh, that
creator of
rips.
Woody Woodpecker, of course.
Yeah, it was
yep.
just at Universal Studios, and there was like a little plaque dedicated to the memory of Walter Lantz, and I was
Yep.
like,
Lance
I
cartoon.
haven't, the only reason I think about Woody Woodpecker anymore is the David Lynch story about the 5 Woodies.
I don't know that one.
It's one of those ones where I love David Lynch so much, and it crosses the line into him seeming just genuinely out of it instead of like creative and funny.
Yeah,
I
hold
think
on.
of
I've
that
got to find.
Dan Deacon song, the Woody Woodpecker, the early Dan Deacon song, where he samples the laugh.
I don't know that. That sounds dope.
I think it's on Spider-Man of the Rings, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
Wait, Jory, can I get you to read this David Lynch quote? I'll put a link
Sure.
to it in the chat. I'm sorry, it's a Reddit link.
So there's this story that Lynch was at like a convenience store, and they had just like a bunch of Woody Woodpeckers.
Hold
hanging
on,
books
this is like
behind
the full
register.
story in the image with the quote.
So, not in the David Lynch voice, because this is an omnipotent narrator. David Lynch is recalling a day in 1981 when he says he rescued 5 Woody Woodpecker toys that he saw hanging up as he drove past a petrol station. I screech on the brakes, I do a U-turn, go back and I buy them and save their lives, he says seriously. I named them Chucko, Buster, Pete, Bob, and Dan, and they were my boys, and they were in my office. They were my dear friends for a while, but certain traits started coming out, and they became not so nice. Looking straight ahead, he says with a grim finality, they are not in my life anymore. And that's the entire story.
Actually, that reminds me. I rescued something from a roadside the other day. I have to go get it because it was... I've never, ever been walking by. We were walking through, like, middle of kind of the valley. We had gone to this breakfast place, and we passed, like, on a lawn. There was a discarded thing, and it was dewy and kind of gross, but I had to get it. And I'm going to go get it right now and show it to you because I was so excited to rescue this thing. Okay?
I'm so excited to
All right,
find out what it
I'll be
is.
right back. Give me 2
Cool.
minutes.
He's gonna come back with like an emaciated child.
It's like a rotting dog. Leighton, how are you doing now that we're away from disinterested
This
parties?
malign influence. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm happy to
Good.
be here on a Wednesday morning watching Poltergeist with. Oh, that's a spoiler. Watching Poltergeist with my buddies.
Oh, wait. The audience saw the title of the podcast.
Whatever. How are you doing, Jory?
I'm not bad. I'm struggling. My brain is my enemy. The world is my enemy. But
I mean, yeah, mood. The moment we finish this recording, as much fun as I have with you guys, these are my favorite episodes to record. I am immediately going to shut off and die.
oh my god, no.
No, I don't mean like die. Just all light will leave my eyes and I will lie down.
No, I understand that.
We should talk about in this, because I guess this is our Halloween episode, question mark?
Yay.
Happy Halloween. We did Halloween Horror Nights together with Aaron and Harry. And it was great.
It
What were your
fucking
thoughts?
ruled.
This was your first time doing HHN, right?
Do we continue this conversation or do we pay attention to Brian's
Well, he can show us
rescued
his
item?
emaciated child that he rescued. What's up? Hi.
Are you ready?
Welcome back. Yeah, show us.
I'm excited.
You should be.
He's excited. Look at his face. Oh my god. Holy
That's so tight.
Look at... It's reflecting a bunch of light, but you can kind of get the point.
Is it
here,
reflecting
right?
your Nintendo Switch?
No, that's my key light. That's...
For the sake of
There's the
listeners,
switch down there.
is that glass or acrylic?
Like
It's
plexi?
it's like plexi, yeah.
Okay. It's an acrylic sign. It's trapezoidal in a way that feels very 80s or 90s. And it says Air Guitar Center.
Not
Apparently in
Guitar
a
Center.
parody-
Air Guitar Center.
Seemingly in a parody of the store?
Yeah, but not in the font. Not in the Guitar Center
Yeah.
font.
They didn't commit.
They didn't
Brian,
fully
that
commit.
seems like it was beamed down from the heavens specifically for you to find it.
I know.
Truly.
And like... it was kind of... I have not cleaned it. I just fished it out of the back of my car right now. Because I just put it in the car. This is 2 days ago. And I was like, this is... Who would get rid of this? What maniac?
Yeah.
What idiot? What fucking moron would get rid of that? And it's...
Somebody who wanted their man cave to be a little less tragic.
Well, guess what?
Are you going to put it in there, or are you going to put it in your house?
I mean, I think I'm going to put it in here somewhere. I think I have to. I
It's
don't
would
know what I'm
perfect.
going to do with it.
You
But
need
there's
like
no way
a
to mount
backing.
it. Yeah.
You need a backing for it because otherwise it's not going to show up. That's why I was thinking of your house. But
Yes. Totally. It needs some kind of backing.
that's
but yeah,
incredible. Congratulations.
I know. What a find. I do have to clean. Now I feel like my hands are gross.
I know.
Yeah. Air
I couldn't
guitar
possibly
center.
understand more if you want to watch them.
Nah, it's fine. I'll just lick them clean later.
He's
Give
gonna
it a
have such a
little
little. He's gonna have a devilish little smile on his face. when he does
Fingers
that.
are like the toes of the hands.
Anyway, while you were gone, Jory and I were going over our Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights experience because I don't think Jory's been before. So I was asking
yeah.
him his thoughts, and then you walked back in.
Oh, so please continue.
I also want it to be called Hollywood Horror Nights. I understand that it's the season of Halloween, but the place is Hollywood, and that just makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's all movie themed, so
Do they have the classic monsters roaming around? They must, right?
Well,
there's a maze dedicated to the classic monsters.
it was
In a kind of
actually more
loose
of
way.
like a lesbian love story,
It really was.
Oh,
which
really?
was sick. Yeah,
That's cool.
it was pretty great. But yeah, Jory, best house, worst house.
I think
Worst house.
best
That's
house.
that hot dog shop, right?
That's best kush.
Verst house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was referring to the.
Little shout out to you, German-speaking listeners out there in Hollywood land.
Little shout out to the arts district.
Yeah, that was the shout out I was doing.
Great.
The best house, humiliatingly. So I think we agreed that even though Halloween Horror Nights was an absolute gas, the mazes themselves, especially for people who are not afraid of having someone jump out and yell at them,
And also who make video games and no level design.
it's true. The mazes had no pacing or anticipation or build of any kind to them. They were just a succession of rooms in which someone would scream at you. And so the only one that, in my opinion, had any pacing elements of any kind was the newest room brought to us by The Weeknd, of Daniel Craig fame, who it's like the most like humiliating autobiography of The Weeknd, seemingly abstracted out into a Halloween haunted house maze.
Yeah, and for those who have watched Succession, This Weekend Haunted House is literally the episode where Kendall throws the big crazy birthday party for himself with a replica of his mom's vagina. That's what this house is,
Oh, and he like rebirths himself or something.
basically. Watch
Okay.
Succession; it's great.
I will.
I've seen the finale and no other episodes.
Wait, didn't you watch the?
I watched the funeral episode so I could see
Connor's
James
wedding.
Cromwell's.
Yeah.
No, I only watched clips of that one. I never watched the full episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please.
I watched the funeral episode in its entirety because I'm a big James Cromwell head, and I really wanted to see.
Oh, you're part of the Crom Pack.
yeah. I'm in the Crom clan.
Hell yeah, baby.
Okay, so what were we just talking about? Horror Nights, the
Horror
weekend.
Nights, yeah. The Weekend.
We love The Weeknd.
Yes, we love his
Anyway,
show.
there was an obvious edit here because we said a bunch of spurious things about The Weeknd and we're afraid of libel charges.
Not me, baby.
but-
Libel spelled Libl. Because it's The Weekend.
Hey, okay, I like that.
Thank you. That's also my app where you can auto libel someone.
I thought
That's just
about
Twitter.
like the millennial app spelling, so I got
Yeah.
completely
You
lost.
just press
but-
a button, you can generate AI generates libel for you to say and attributes it to you.
Yeah,
That's
well,
a lot of fun.
I'm
and
gonna
publishes it online.
I'm going to start a competing company called Slander, obviously dropping the E, so it's just DR, and
I like that.
it'll come up with slander in response to posts from libel.
That's great. And it's a dating app. Yeah, you might as well
Okay.
combine those two things. Now we're getting into unicorn territory for this particular company. I like this a lot. I mean, it's going to be
Kern, CRN?
unicorn. Yeah, it's going to be we're talking $1 billion valuation for sure.
Well, the good news is the dating app is 95% men, and they're all angry.
Hell yeah,
And they're all
that's right.
straight.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
Okay, Jory, you were talking
Speaking
about
of, yeah,
the
speaking of
weekend
angry
haunted
straight
house.
man, Jory, please continue.
Thank you. The Weekend Maze was charmingly asinine, but also had even just like the slightest pacing elements.
Did
Like
it have
there-
blinding lights?
It did have specifically blinding lights pointed
How did I
directly at eye
fucking
level.
know it? Yep, of course it did. Were people constantly touching your face? Because they can feel your face?
I was trying to make that work and I couldn't do it. So they can feel your face when they're with you and
Yes.
you don't like it.
Yeah. Sorry, Layden, what were you saying? Yeah, right.
The scare actors carry around trays with, some lines of cocaine for you to do just for fun.
That's great. Yep.
And it also has like a bunch of asinine imagery, like a baby Weeknd bursting from. Actually, I don't even remember what it was bursting from.
There was like a
Was it
sink.
being born?
Well, because there were a couple of the little weekend babies. Like maybe the best moment of all of Horror Nights is like I was with Aaron and we turned the corner into that like little bathroom room where there's the first little baby Weekend, and the look on Aaron's face and the laugh that he did, he just like immediately crumbled. It was like
You're going to have to define what you mean by baby weekend.
exactly what it sounds like. A little tiny The Weeknd with sunglasses, question mark.
Or like
with the appropriate
a
sunglasses.
statue or a living...
Like a little
or an act-
animatronic.
Honestly, a pretty decent animatronic. Like
Yeah.
in the Uncanny Valley, but in the way you want it to be. And yeah, it had the red Weekend suit. It had everything. Like it was all very Weekend coded.
And then later there's a big animatronic that's like the Weekend, but also a bug and also the
It's
baby.
like a John Carpenter's thing of
Yeah.
the Weekend baby and then a large bug that you saw earlier in the thing. And it sucked. It was very stupid, but
Was the hook here that he designed this, or it's just kind of themed around him?
so this is the second time there's been a Weekend Maze. Leighton, did you see the previous one?
No,
Was
because I
that
think
last year?
I think it was 2 years ago, and I only went last year. But I think they're like adapted from his music videos.
somehow, yeah, which I
Yeah.
have never seen.
Neither
seen
have I.
Maybe one or two, yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like the Weekend Maze had the most interesting ideas, and also was like when you're walking through the rooms, the Weekend music is playing, and you just kind of see like cool shit, and then the little transitional areas are them blinding you with lights in a dark hallway that is genuinely disorienting. And then there was this
Yeah.
awesome little mirror section, which is maybe the best section of like any of the houses. I can't even. What were they even doing? There was like some. What were they doing in that area? I don't know. It had such an effect on me, though. It was really genuinely great.
Yeah, there were two suspicious ghouls just like chilling in there. And one of them
Yeah.
kind of fit the mirror theme, and I kind of remember that one of them didn't.
That does
Yeah,
sound
and there was
fun.
like the little fabric that they were like waving. It was cool.
There also was a room that had like heavy like Michael Mann vibes. Like it was like a dirty like apartment with like blinded windows, and it just felt like this was about the Weeknd doing cocaine. Like because it definitely feels like the rooms are about like the rise and fall of the Weeknd in some way. A man whose biography I am completely unfamiliar with.
He got in trouble for something recently, didn't he?
Making a bad television show.
Is that all it was?
Maybe that was it.
And then like the little
yeah.
the pre-ride like line cue is like set up as like a Weeknd concert with a guy playing the Weeknd, which I thought was a cute little conceit. And then my other favorite moment in the haunted houses is there was a Quiet Place Part 2 maze.
I think it was just a quiet place.
A
Yeah.
'Cause
Quiet
like,
Place.
Day one just came out, right? Isn't that the one that just came out? Or is it about
Which
to?
people like.
I fucking guess. I didn't.
And it was directed by the director of Pig, which got some people excited.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that like for those movies, at least the first one, like you don't really see the critter all that much, but in that maze, every single room had an animatronic critter, which don't get me wrong, they looked really good. But my favorite part is that there's like, John Krasinski's basement in one of the rooms, and they have a whiteboard, and the whiteboard was a perfect recreation of the dumbass whiteboard from the movie, including what is the weakness? And I held up the entire flow of the house staring at it. Because Jory was like a few behind me, and I was like, "Oh my god, he has to see
They
this."
should have written, we should have written, what is the Weeknd? Right? And then then it's like synergy with the Weeknd.
Downvote.
That's world building.
Why would you downvote
like
that? That was a good joke. Jory, can you upvote that real quick so we can even out?
I've got 5
Thank
dummy
you.
accounts.
Back to neutral. Yeah, well, bring it.
Yeah, I feel like recreating that whiteboard that faithfully can only be an act of mockery. Like, you had the opportunity to make this less dumb, and you chose to make it perfectly accurate to the film.
No, sick little Easter egg. What were the other? They kept typing. So we had a tour guide who was wonderful. I kept wanting to ask her
Because you got like a VIP package or something, or that was just part of the thing?
RIP package.
Oh.
So
Correct.
yeah.
Shout out to Kaylee.
Yeah, Kaylee was awesome. She reminded me so much of Sarah Goldberg, but I didn't want to do the thing where it's like, the people ever telling you that you look like. But
right.
yeah, the staff were really hyping up the Insidious haunted house, which
Okay.
I don't remember. Oh, I guess you kind of go into the Tiny Tim land. What's the word for the other world in the Insidious movies?
I don't remember.
The Upside Down, I believe, is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Dark World.
There was a Texas
Genuinely, I said the Dark World making fun of it. It might be the Dark World.
That's Thor, I believe. But yeah.
Dr. Zhivago.
Yes.
The best MCU movie.
And then there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, which I really liked just because it's like, oh yeah, you're in the house. And they did that perfect little sliding the door shut and open with the cool red hallway with all the skulls in it. That was one of the scares. And it's like, all right, sick. That's like one of my favorite moments in any movie. So that's cool.
Yeah, I felt like it was a real pattern across all of them, aside from the Weeknd one where they actually changed from room to room, that like the entire Universal Monsters thing, it was a tomb. And like the Texas Chainsaw one, even though it was one of my favorites, it was very much like, this is the gore room. And then you go into the next room and it's like, this is the blood room. Like they were all, it was extremely monotonous.
Describe to me, how are people, like the crowds, behaving at this event? Are they awful? Are they fun? Is it a combination?
Honestly, I was completely delighted by the behavior of everyone around us.
Yeah,
Great.
wait, Jory, you have to tell Brian about the muscly guy.
Oh,
There
I
was
want to
this
hear about it.
delightful meathead dude, God bless his heart, who was like my height, not a tall man, but like very, very, very swole with great intentionality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like enormous traps. Are these traps? Shoulders?
Traps are like...
He had that thing where it's like a 45-degree angle down from his head down to his shoulders.
Yeah.
And
When I first turned my head to look at him, this is after my edible started hitting, I half expected like a Fallout New Vegas like snap zoom on his face because he was such a like stone-faced, like swole, stiff guy.
Looks like...
Can I do an impression of this on a webcam?
Like a Dave Bautista type. Huh?
Yes.
Is that your impression?
With a heat like this makes you wish for a nuclear. I can't do it. I tried.
I really like that.
But he had like a USMC tattoo, which like very well might have been stolen valor. Like very cute.
Cool.
And he was there with his like extremely normal seeming woman partner. But he honestly, I wasn't not on his wavelength. He didn't seem like a bad dude. He was just like a cartoon character.
Yeah, work out a lot. Yeah.
And in fact, at one point, the first time I noticed him was we were going extremely rapidly through each maze, and I heard him say like, "Yo, guys, let's walk a little slower." And I was like, "Yeah, I actually I agree with that." But there was a point where there was like, Halloween Horror Nights seems to have this problem of pacing, where every time there's a gag, you see the tail end of it ending as you're coming into the room.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
And then if you linger in the room,
Because
you'll
they
be able to see it
throttle
again.
attendant, like they control when you enter the room.
Not really.
And
It was
that's
all
kind
just
of
like
the issue.
I see.
And I couldn't tell if this was just like entirely self-inflicted, like if everyone could simply walk slower and then it would work better.
That's my question.
But like in the Insidious maze, for example, I think you said this too late, in that like I didn't see the beginning of a single gag. I only saw the ends of them. Like it just didn't work for me at all.
And then if you linger for a second to see if they'll do it again, now that you're fully in the room, they won't do it. Especially because you're looking right at.
Oh, because
this is
actors.
always the problem.
They're actors, right?
Yeah, it's usually a pacing of like actor, animatronic, like.
Okay. Got it.
But there was a similar thing where there was like a chest height window that opened to reveal a ghoul.
Yeah.
And the
red
meathead
face
saw
guy
that.
from Insidious.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
it probably was Darth Maul from the Insidious movies.
Who's not Bagul.
He's not Bagul. That is Sinister. I remembered after yelling about Bagul a lot during the Insidious maze.
Gabagool?
It was Soprasat, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But
So Prasad and Mozzarella, the two ghouls.
But as we walked into one of the rooms, we saw a window close, and so the meathead guy like got right up on the window, so that the next time it opened, he was there when the scare actor came through, and just like the meathead guy just like stared the guy down really seriously, and then as the door closed and they walked back out, he leaned into his partner and said, "I think I scared him." So completely full of shit. It was awesome.
Well, and I
loved him.
I lost it when you told me that, and so I
That's really
kept,
funny.
I kept a special eye on him for the rest of the time, and he had that tough guy, self-conscious, I'm not scared thing that made his body language look so much more scared, like because he was compensating, which was so fucking funny to watch from behind because I was just watching those traps like up.
Yeah.
Tense traps.
The ultimate thing is having
The
somebody in
ultimate
your
thing.
group who is really scared, and we did.
We did.
Oh, who can you say who it was? Was it me?
It was Harry, who did a fabulous job. I am very proud of him.
It's delightful.
But oh my god, I just wanted to be behind him the whole time because it was so fucking funny.
Because he
I
was
felt-
reacting in a
I felt
fun
terrible
way.
for laughing at him, but god.
Probably helped in a way. It was a salve of some kind, but
Yeah.
it definitely increased my enjoyment of the night.
Oh,
significantly.
it was joyous. And I may or may not have told our host that to get people to target him.
Oh, that's great. Can the host do that? They can like talk to the actors and say,
Yeah.
wow, that's awesome.
Well, and also Kaylee kept like convening with the various ghouls inspectors as we walked through. Like they would like notice her and like zero in on her because they were all friends, and it was very, very cute.
It was so
much fun to see.
charming because she would give like a really over the top reaction to them too.
Is it scary? Is it like actually scary?
I think for the right person, it's definitely like not low intensity, but like I just like I'm afraid of realizing that my grandma is alive again, but actually she's dying again now, and actually I can't that's what I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of a creature yelling at me.
I was talking to a friend recently who was talking about her reaction to haunted houses. And she was saying that whenever she goes to these, she scares easily, but her default reaction is to start complimenting the actors. So
That's so great. That's
this
a great
person will
idea.
jump out and she'll be like, "Oh my God, look at your corset. You look so nice."
I think
Which I thought was really funny.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah.
Aaron has that exact reaction. He'll be like, "Ah, you got me."
Yeah.
That's so cute. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, this is truly like a very genuine expression and not any sort of trying to sound like an edgelord, but I think Halloween Horror Nights is the calmest I've been all year. I had a lot of edible in me, and it was a cool night, and I was with my friends, and something about, like, I don't know, my weird PTSD brain where it's like, here are all these things that are supposed to scare you. I'm like, this is so nice.
That sounds reasonable. I don't think that sounds edgelordy.
It's like how roller coasters make me sleepy.
Yeah, I don't think that doesn't sound to me like you're edging.
Well,
What? No, genuine. Hold on. Genuinely, what?
nothing.
I was just okay. Good.
Let's see. What else did we witness? There were crow guys.
That bit was a grind halt. Just complete stop.
Yeah,
We call
Brian's
that
really
a
good at doing
Brian
that.
Weck special in this house.
I loved it.
Tell me about the food. Is there any like good Halloween food?
There was a buffet.
Okay, of course, yes. What do they serve at the buffet?
Well, if you,
It was a 3 course meal.
Really? Is that true?
There was an escaratif.
Are you making this up, or was this a real thing? 'Cause I'm either going to be impressed or delighted or both.
every word out of his mouth is true.
Okay,
And then there was an entree.
that one's iffy.
And then it ended with a nice dessert.
I genuinely can't tell how much of this is something you're just making up right now.
It was all true. Every word of it.
Yeah, I'll back him up. All true.
Perfect. Great.
No, it was a really nice buffet. Like I don't even know the last.
I think it's called a buffet.
Nobody said
Like-
that. Nobody suggested that at any point. I don't know. They had a great variety of things. All of it was pretty yummy. They had a little like prime roast deal that you get a slice of. They had a bunch of themed desserts that were yummy. There was like
They were great.
Such as
banana bread pudding. There was like what was the little strawberry thing
what's
that you
the
got?
theme? Is that what the aliens eat in A Quiet Place?
The banana bread pudding was a low-key reference to the Peter Jackson film Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive.
Oh, Dead Alive. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
the scene when the woman's ear
Yeah.
falls into the
Yeah.
pudding.
I know what you're talking about.
I fucking saved your ass, Leighton.
You really did. Well, then what was your strawberry mousse in homage to?
That's the red
take
face
me
of
out of this.
the demon in Insidious. It's the red.
That's right. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
reference to the
with
guy
the
who's not
streaks.
Bagul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bagul. Yeah.
There were macarons, there were little pieces of chocolate cake, and then they had like coffee, tea, a bunch of sodas. Even though it's like this was an experience that was paid for. Seeing a cooler of free soft drinks is like, oh goody, free drink.
Yeah.
It's
Totally. Of course.
free of charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
They had some good mac and cheese. They had some salads. They had a little like corn situation. They had like California rolls, question mark.
California
They had pain
rolls.
cocktails. California rolls.
So
They
you heard me.
had why did I set it up like I had another one?
Wait, did you say they had cocktails that you could get drinks?
They had cocktails that were not included with the charge. And
No.
there was one that a woman at a table next to us got, which was just a pint glass. Presumably it wasn't beer. So it presumably was some kind of hard liquor, but maybe with a mixer. So which means it probably was a really, really weak drink. Like it did not
a
look
pint
good.
glass, yeah.
And then as a decoration, it just had an entire caramel apple just shoved inelegantly
over the
into
top.
the top. And when I later went to the bar, this cocktail was $50.
I was going
everything
to
about it-
ask Brian to guess how much it was going to be, but
Oh
yeah,
my
$50.
God. It looked so
$50?
bad and so unappealing.
And it
That's
also implies
Insane.
the inflation on the cost of a caramel apple, which you're probably only going to eat a few, but like aesthetically iconic, but it's not a good experience. Like
No.
you get that first bite and then you have the rest of it. And then eventually you just have apple,
But
and also it's
it-
all over your face and you have to hold it.
You know what the caramel apples at least I can kind of get into. It's the candy apples
Yeah, fuck
which
that.
are wholly unacceptable. I do like to eat them real sexy though, and so like the candy kind of drips down my face and I lick it off. You know?
Oh, you're not like deep throating it, like getting the entire thing into your mouth.
Well, I do that as it like drips down. That's how I do it. It gets stuck in there, and then what happens in order to breathe, I have to melt the candy away. So it's an incentive for me to increase my internal body temperature, which is to say, get my motor running, if you know what I'm talking about. So I look around at the hottest
He's talking about
things.
being aroused.
That's correct, sexually aroused. So I look around at the hottest things available, and then I up my body temperature, and the candy melts, and it drips down my my gullet and the outside as well. And I make, in order to, and this is kind of a feedback loop, it not only increases my state of arousal / body temperature, everyone else gets really into it too, which then, contributes. I'm making little like nummy, like hot noises, like that kind of thing, right? As it's happening. And then usually a crowd of onlookers gathers. And that, of course, nothing, I like to watch, and I like being watched. So that kind of perpetuates the cycle. And then, as is wont to happen, I reach climax and the evening moves on.
I'm imagining a group of
a terrible
onlookers.
crime you're doing. Sorry, go ahead, Leighton.
I'm imagining a group of onlookers coming over to watch this man choking on a caramel apple and calling the ambulance.
Well, what I picture is like my version of what's happening, which is I just described, and then you cut to the extra version, which is just this
seizing.
weirdo choking on something.
Boyish smiles spread from ear to ear, saying like, yummy, yummy.
There's like Vaseline on the edges of the camera, and then we cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Is that old guy
Michael
okay?
McDonald, Mad TV character.
Yeah.
What else? There were crow guys on stilts who were the greatest.
Yeah, they were not even attempting to be scary. They were just delightful.
No.
And if you got them,
guys dressed up as like spooky crows, or guys like from The Crow? Which
there were a
be...
lot of guys who were the latter, but these were the former.
Okay.
Yeah, they were
And they were
tall,
on stilts.
and they had little beaks that they could open, and it would make a sound.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
There was
I
a
like
point
that.
where we got like right in front of them, and we were all just like cheering and telling them that we loved them.
We was like dancing and cheering, and they like danced and twirled back.
That's great.
Like, they
It was
just
so
loved the
cute.
attention.
Were they like tall stilts, like really high up there, or just?
Yeah, they were like a solid 10 feet tall.
Whoa,
it was
cool.
dope.
That's great.
And there was another stilt walker who we became very enamored of because we stopped at one of the little Mario cafes to get Mario themed treats.
Oh yes, I saw you post about this.
Yeah.
But the Mario Cafe was Scare Zone adjacent.
I saw you in Mario hats. You posted a few pictures in Mario gear. Did you go to Mario Land?
Oh yeah, we did. We got on the little Mario Kart ride, and Aaron's headset worked this year. So
Nice. And was it like Boo themed, or is it just the normal Mario ride, which I've never done because the line's always been too long?
It is not particularly Boo themed, but there is an entire haunted section. So
That's nice.
You could make an argument that it fits in.
yeah, very fun little ride. As with any like you are playing a game ride, it really doesn't function on that level, but it is very cool.
Right. That's right. It's a bad game.
truly
in
stinks.
Kind of cool surroundings.
But when you're
Yeah.
stoned, it's amazing.
Hey! Oh,
Do
I wasn't.
people-
What a fool am I?
Those you're playing a game rides, I've never understood. I mean, there must be people who are really good at them and prioritize being really good at them. I'm thinking of like Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters or things like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what is the mindset of someone who's like, I'm going to crush Astro Blasters right now? Like, you have to wait online to do that.
Oh, yeah.
How many times how do you get good at that? Do you just go, you must have to figure out like when attendance is low, wait until 8 p.m. or whatever the time is, and then just loop it, right? Just get off, go back on, get off, go back on, get off, go back on.
My dog is
et cetera.
vomiting. Give me a couple of minutes.
Ooh, the ultimate scare.
This is a pretty normal occurrence for any dog owner, though. So I think the fear has more to do with not knowing the dog has vomited, but getting that kind of sixth sense that the dog has vomited.
Yeah.
Like seeing it happen is actually probably fine.
Yes. So yeah, what do you what do you suspect is going on through the mind of someone who wants to be really good at one of these theme park game rides?
My one theory about this is that Kaylee shouted out to us a couple of priority targets to keep an eye out for. Mm-hmm. And so it's like maybe they have somebody whispering in their ear in that fashion. Like,
like these
telling
are
them what
high
some of the best
point
targets
value
are.
targets, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they're going to misdirect you to have you shoot at the big thing. But the big thing is actually hurts your score somehow.
But what, I mean, I can understand wanting to get good at a I don't know, a video game at home where you've paid for the thing and then you play it until you stop. But at a theme park, you have to like pay to get into the place every time you want to play that game. And so if you're going to be a world champion at Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, you're not paying whatever it is, $70 for the game, and then you just play it ad nauseum. You go to this park, you can't go in its peak or you'll do the thing twice. You have to wait. It's a very interesting. I want to talk to the person in the world who is best at like Buzz Lightyear or whatever, and just be like, what's your deal with this?
I also, as previously stated, these games are not actually fun to play, and so by being that focused on it,
yes,
you must be robbing yourself of any of the fun of the experience by being that serious about it.
100% agree. And also, like the equipment gets real janky because they have God knows how many thousands of people a day coming through and messing with it. So you can't even rely when you get into one of the little cars or whatever. You can't even reliably assume that your trigger is going to be working well or the aim is going to be on or whatever. It's got to be weird.
Yeah, for sure. That said, the Mario Kart one, I would make a strong argument, is even worse than some of them because like the Mario Kart one takes place entirely in like an augmented reality headset that you have to wear. And so like the Buzz Lightyear one or like the Men in Black ride, which I think is either closed or being closed in I just got a message from you, Leighton, that says my internet just shit itself, I think. And I'm curious if that was from 20 minutes ago.
It was from 20 minutes ago.
Your internet shit itself and then your dog barfed.
Yeah, she's fine now.
I was going to ask, dog barf, okay?
Yeah, normal is a very small amount. I think she just wants attention, really.
Yeah, that's why I barf. Anyway.
Yeah.
The Mario Kart ride is pretty neat from like a physical ride design standpoint and just has these like subpar non-stereoscopic augmented reality elements that are just blocking you from seeing the cool stuff. It's a real drag. It really doesn't work. But
yeah, and also like what's the point of even turning? Like does it do anything when you turn?
I forgot about it entirely. Yeah.
This discussion, which you missed a significant portion of, Leighton, reminded me in my untweeted drafts folder on Twitter, which got deleted probably for dumb Twitter reasons, for NSP. For probably about 5 years, I had Comes Lightyear's Ass Blasters. And which is why I didn't tweet it. Because I was like, it's not funny, but it's maybe there's something to it that's just dumb enough, but it felt too porny. I don't know.
It felt too porny for the NSP Twitter.
Well, NSP Twitter is often not. It's like porny, but in a stupid way. It's a fine.
And it's
line.
like it's in a fun way. It's in a way that everybody can enjoy.
Doesn't seem fun enough. I guess.
I understand what you mean there. That just sounds like a typical porn parody.
I'm putting it
title
out into the world now. So if anyone wants to start a band called that or whatever, you can feel free.
I think this is a thing that I've tried very hard to explain to my therapist that he won't quite get, of like podcast humor or NSP, where it's like, no, it's not porny. It's not porny. I mean, we make dumb sex jokes and talk about dicks all the time, but it's not like that.
This is
he doesn't buy it.
This is 100. This is a hard thing to communicate about a lot of things I do, including NSP, which is, it's not, I mean, there's a lot of references to sexual things, but it is the very opposite of horny and porny.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like in an arch ironic way.
That's
Again,
right.
Me trying to explain this to my therapist was pushing a boulder up.
Well, don't you remember one time I can't remember, talking to Brent about this show, and he's like, you guys are like really porny. And I was like, no, no, not really. Like, yeah, we talk about adjacent things, but it's not porny. It's detached. It's more detached.
Is part of it about like normalizing it? Like you're sort of talking about how Freudian it is in a way that the goal might be making people less uncomfortable with it. I can't tell.
Yeah, this is a sex and body positive podcast.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
So we talk about cum fucking constantly.
Yeah. I mean, no, I certainly that is not one of my goals. I just do it because I think it's funny. But
That's
and
my
have not
sense of
put more
humor.
thought into it. Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
at heart a middle school boy.
Yeah, that's right. Skibbity toilet, of course.
Of course.
Don't make
Yes.
jokes about Skibbity Toilet. It's
Why?
serious.
Well, no. Let's.
Is it
let's-
too
let's-
soon? Is it too
let's-
sensitive a
let's
topic?
let's dig into this a little, Jory. Why do you think I shouldn't be making jokes about Skibbity Toilet? When I say Skibbity Toilet, what does that make you feel?
Have you even watched it? I see like the arch
I've been
premise that
watching
you're
my
going
toilet
here.
for like 2 months, and not a single Skibbity has come out of it. So I've been trying, and it's not my fault. that
Skibbity
there's-
isn't a noun; it's an adjective.
There's no way that's true.
Grow up.
I'm saying you can come over and watch my toilet anytime, and we do have 2 of them. Humble brag. But if you want to come over and look at this toilet and see if any skibbities come out, that is, my house is available to you. Actually, our gate's open right now because we're waiting for the gardeners. So if you wanted to come as soon as we're done, you could actually get in without me even letting you in, and you can watch. You can watch me pee. You can watch me take a dump. You can watch me do anything in the bathroom. I do have some upcharging that will take effect, but I'll okay everything.
We are not
before I
beating
do
the
it.
porny allegations here.
There's nothing pornographic about watching a grown man use the bathroom, if that's what you're into.
If everybody's happy, then
Yeah, it would be fully, and I should have said this, fully consensual. So what's the issue here? And by use the bathroom, when I use the bathroom, I really use the bathroom. I get like, I'm doing everything in there.
it's like
Yeah. it's exhausting.
yeah.
Wow.
What were you
I've lost
talking
the
about?
plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
You
all
were
lost
talking about all the
plot.
skibbities.
It's an
We were
adjective,
talking
not a
about
noun.
the lack of pornography on this show.
Oh, should we introduce this show?
Yeah, that's great. It's been a while since we've done a really delayed introduction. Everybody, this is Late at Night with Brian Wecht. My name is Brian Wecht. Over here, sitting across from me, we have Leighton Gray.
Hi, I'm Leighton Gray, and welcome to the pornographic cast.
Yeah, the podcast where we get down and dirty with the dogs. Here's one of our biggest dogs. Woof. Jory
Thank you.
Griffis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, embarrassed to be here.
Embarrassed to be here is how I'm going to start introducing myself from here on
Yeah.
out. We're glad to
That's
have
beautiful.
you. So initially, even say like 30 minutes into this recording, this was going to be one of our typical, we talk before and after a film, and then you can get the commentary on our Patreon. Due to time constraints, this is just a regular Jory episode. And as a special treat, not a trick, next week's episode will be a main feed commentary of a horror film. So
Put out.
And now
day
that's
early.
in the episode. So
Yeah, that's right. No, we got to do it. We're putting it out
Yeah.
on All Hallows Eve
yes.
next week, which is on a Thursday, so people will, have it a day early.
Yeah, and so you'll be able to watch along, and I'm going to pretend that I didn't do a specific makeup look to match the poster for this movie.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was noticing your look, and I didn't catch the right. Wait, get closer to the camera because I have poor vision and you're small on the screen. So how does that match the post? I gotta look at the poster.
Look at the poster from Poltergeist. I would never, I will never wear blue eyeshadow not as like a bit or something. It just does
It looks
not work.
good.
Thank you.
Poster guys.
It did feel Halloweenish. I did not specifically think about it as being a reference.
Are you
to
talking about the
poster for
TV
movie.
poster? The girl
Yeah.
on the.
It's blue.
Oh, it's the blue. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Jory, we can talk about this next week. Never mind. I was going to ask about Poltergeist and the sequels, but let's pause on
Well,
that.
we're just doing the commentary next week, so we could still talk about Poltergeist. It's allowed.
Have you seen any of the Poltergeist sequels?
I don't think I ever have. I've always heard people talk about them. I've heard they are not good. That is all I know.
Poltergeist 2 has a really great villain in it, Kane. I've never seen Poltergeist 3, and I totally forgot there was a remake within the past 10 years.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
And who's
Has
in it?
anyone seen that movie? And I don't mean us, I mean anyone.
2015 is when it came out. I completely forgot about that. It looks like it falls into every possible trap of a remake just from the poster.
A bunch of Josh Hartnetts they are.
Sam Rockwell, Rosemary DeWitt, Jared Harris.
Cousin Greg is in
Okay.
it.
I'm a Harris head.
Jane Addams. I like Jane Addams.
I don't like how prominently featured this Five Nights at Freddy's ass clown is.
That's what I'm talking about.
It seems like they pushed the clown big time in the marketing, which, like, it's one very silly gag in the movie.
Directed by Gil Keenan, who did Monster House and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
There was also a Ghostbusters Frozen Empire house at Halloween Horror Nights.
I have to say, and Jory, you and I don't think you and I have talked about this. I thought Ghostbusters Afterlife was the fucking worst. I really hated it. I thought Frozen Empire.
I have not watched Frozen Empire.
I thought Frozen Empire was pretty good.
I heard it was a massive improvement. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah,
I am out. I no longer have even like an academic curiosity about the franchise. I'm just like done.
Yeah,
but I think Afterlife is almost unwatchable. I
agree with
truly
you.
dislike that movie.
I waited because I was like, I'm not fucking buying it. So I waited for, I don't know, 2 years for it to show up on a streaming service I already subscribed to watch, which was about a year ago. And it was so disappointing. It could not have been less worth the wait. Just terrible.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's the conceit of Afterlife?
So Harold Ramis, of course, has died at this point. So the Egon Spengler has at some point moved to a cornfield in, I believe, Oklahoma or something, and lives in the middle of nowhere. He dies before the movie, and they kind of stumble, like his daughter and children.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a granddaughter, but also a bunch of other kids who I don't think are his.
Yeah, you got Podcast.
That's right.
I forget the other one's name.
Finn Wolfhard. I
don't remember the actual
Carrie
kids' names
Coon
at all.
is his daughter.
And she's
then
like fine in it,
she's
in as much
great.
as the movie gives her anything to do.
But she doesn't have anything to do. Paul Rudd is like a local goofy science teacher who the number one crime this film commits, Ghostbusters Afterlife, is that it is never funny. Not a single funny thing happens. It is purely an adventure movie for children without any humor. And it's
like glazing the original really, really hard.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah.
It is, but it's also like it kind of does that thing that The Force Awakens did, where it's like, in order for this movie to exist, the events following the original film needed to be heartbreakingly sad.
Yeah.
Where it's like, in the Star Wars movies, it's like, oh, everything that happened in those was for naught. The exact same thing is still happening.
Oh, like a real Alien 3 revisionism?
Yeah, totally. Same vibe. Where, like, except there's a boldness there, which these movies also totally lack somehow.
Yeah.
Where it's like, in Afterlife, Egon got worried about something terrible that was going to happen because of, like, some ley lines out west.
Basically, Gozer coming back. So the spoiler movie is Gozer comes back, and he was worried about this. So the thing please.
And he told the others about that, and they completely didn't believe him and called him a fool, and it destroyed their friendship for 30 years.
Yeah, so the guy who was an expert on ghosts, who is famously surrounded by other credulous people who believe in exactly the same stuff, who have witnessed now 2 apocalyptic events, maybe
which
3.
Egon was right about.
Which Egon was right about. Maybe 3 if you count. I mean, because the Answer the Call one was kind of a parallel. I don't think it's in that same franchise universe.
It may or may not be. Yeah.
So they've witnessed 2, possibly 3 world-ending events, not counting, possibly a lot more if you count the real Ghostbusters cartoon, which I believe is canon.
Ghostbusters,
or Extreme Ghostbusters. Indeed. So they decide not to believe Egon, which is insane because they definitely would. He's a smart, reliable guy. And then he moves to the middle of Oklahoma and sets up basically a giant trap for Gozer, should Gozer come back, which Gozer
No
does.
Josh Hartnett, he.
No. Yeah. Terrible.
Woof.
By the way, I did just watch that movie, Trap.
Oh, how'd you like it?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
I thought it was I had a great time watching it. It's so fucking stupid. It has
Oh, yeah.
maybe the biggest plot holes I've ever seen in a major motion picture. Just like drive a truck through them style. The central conceit is fucking dumb. However, Josh Hartnett is awesome in that movie. He is so great. He is so much fun to watch. Alison Pill, always great. Really fun too.
Yeah, she's the one who's like carrying some of the scenes where it's trying to get heavy and psychological, and it's failing badly. She's still good in the scenes.
I can't remember the name of the kid that plays the daughter, but she was amazing. I thought she was
Serena
really
or something.
Great.
I feel bad that I don't remember.
I don't remember, but she was great. So the plot of this movie, Layden?
Vaguely, yeah.
So Josh Hartnett and his daughter, the kid I'm just talking about, go to a massive concert. And it turns out that he is, spoilers, a serial killer. And the concert is a trap designed to trap him. Because they hear that the Butcher, which is the dumbest name for a serial killer ever, is going to be at this concert. And then they get some kind of squad led by Haley Mills. And
from
the Parent Trap. Yes, to trap a parent.
And she is playing, like, bizarrely, she's basically playing Dr. Samuel Loomis from the Halloween movies.
She's a profiler, but also head, like, agent in charge of this massive trap. So she's not only a profiler, she's like some kind of field agent in charge. Kind of every M. Night Shyamalan film, it's technically very competent, but feels like a first draft in terms of the writing.
Yeah. And I don't know if M. Night is just doing like a little bit of like retroactive continuity to try to make his movies make sense. But in a recent interview, I think he did it with David Sims at The Atlantic.
By the way, you can say retconning. You don't need to spell it out for everybody. But continue.
I thought that saying it out would make it a more elegant sentence.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, as long as it's a choice.
And now it led to this lengthy conversation where I'm getting really sweaty trying to explain myself.
Please continue.
He has started basically claiming that he's trying to make pulpy B movies.
Okay.
And to varying degrees, I believe it throughout his filmography. But like for his early movies, I don't believe it at all.
No, definitely not.
This movie feels like it has its tongue in its cheek in places.
Yes, that's exactly the issue.
But I don't believe it throughout at all. Like there's times where it feels like it's trying to be like a really heady psychological thing, and it's just whiffing it so bad.
Yeah, the tone, it is kind of a comedy in parts, including the central conceit. Casting Haley Mills from The Parent Trap and Trap feels like, oh, they're trying to be funny. Sometimes they write off massive weirdnesses with lines that you're like, was that supposed to be funny? Like, why is this concert happening at 3 p.m.? Like, okay, sure. And they kind of say something, oh, this show was just added at the last minute, but at 3, whatever. Only about half the movie takes place at the titular trap. And the concert, by the way, the star of the concert is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, like plays the musician, Lady Raven. And by the way, I thought the Lady Raven music was pretty good, actually. I didn't dislike the music. I don't know if that's actually her music or not. I think it might be.
It is. She actually wrote and performed it.
I thought the music was I was expecting it to be bad, and I thought some of the music was pretty great.
In the past year, M. Night produced a film directed by one of his daughters, and then made his other daughter and her music the star of a feature he directed.
You know what?
And it's like Nepo Baby stuff. I'm always like on the fence about, because I'm like, it's
Yeah.
very cute that M. Night Shyamalan likes his daughters that much.
I love
I'm very
that
charmed by it.
I love that he loves his daughters and wants to help them. That's great. I had a fun time watching Trap. I kind of watched it because they did it on How Did This Get Made last week, and I was like,
I gotta listen to that.
that's a good enough reason to do it, to watch it. I'd been kind of meaning to, because despite all available evidence that keeps piling up, I still am interested in watching M. Night Shyamalan movies because occasionally they're really fun and good, and he seems to be doing that Tim Burton thing where you're like, you feel like maybe he knows what he's doing, but kind of not.
Oh, and on
I
a career,
would argue that Shyamalan is like more consistent than Tim Burton
100.
by
That's
like a
100%
lot.
true. Yes.
I think Tim Burton has like Pee-wee and Beetlejuice, and I like Sleepy Hollow
Ed
pretty
Wood,
well.
of course.
I like Ed Wood pretty well.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. I think it kind of doesn't go far enough with some of its premises. Like, I think it doesn't really get into the heads of the characters enough. But like, other than that, I think most of his movies, that's what's so tough for him, is the drop off is so huge
That's
that his
right.
movies that aren't pretty good are monstrously
Yes,
horrible.
indeed. Planet of the
And
Apes,
I think-
etc.
I haven't seen After Earth or Avatar, The First Airbender. But
No, neither have I.
but other than
First
that, I think...
Airbender?
The last.
Did I say the first?
You
You
did.
I'm not going to take it back now.
Tragic.
There's a parallel reality that
That's
I'm from
fine.
where that was what the movie was called, and this is a totally reasonable
Yeah.
thing to say.
It's
and
called
to popularize on the internet
Ohio.
for decades.
Anyway.
I regret to say that it's called Skibbity, Ohio.
Yes, hell yes. That's why we got this Rizzler on here.
I love M. Night Shyamalan. I think his best movies are legitimately great, and the drop off is huge. But Tim Burton's bad movies are unwatchable.
Yeah.
And M. Night Shyamalan's bad movies are cut through with like sincerity that makes them a lot of fun to watch.
And
Yeah,
they
and
don't
I-
lean on like aesthetic tweeness to carry everything.
That's
Like there is at
100% true.
least some sort of emotional thread that's happening.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
Brian, I know
Yeah.
that you've been there in person, but did you see The Beach That Makes You Old?
Hey, that was a really elegant bit.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I did not see Old. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. That was very good.
Thanks.
No, I think what was the most recent Shyamalan I saw? Glass probably is the most recent Shyamalan I've seen.
Glass is on the rougher end of his watches, in my opinion. I think it's...
I did like it though. I am fully in for the Unbreakable Split Glass series. I thought Split was really fun. I like Split a
like
lot.
Split.
Yeah.
Problematic, canceled.
Yeah.
Problematic, canceled.
That's either my new song or the new version of Duck Duck Goose. Wait a second, hold on. On to something
Yeah.
there with the Duck Duck Goose alternative.
Not without its share of issues, but it is a lot to like there.
Have you seen the
and
trailers
I think
for
there's
the
a lot to-
new James McAvoy Funny Games ripoff? Mm-hmm. That's coming out. I forget what it's called.
It's a remake of a Dutch movie that I haven't seen.
Really?
And I think I gotta watch the Dutch movie.
Do you want to watch the Dutch movie together? I want to watch it.
Yeah. Well, the Dutch movie is from like 2015. It definitely is still a Funny Games ripoff, but
I mean,
Yeah.
they're okay. Speak no evil. I want to see original movie, but it's like
that's
they've
right.
remade Goodnight Mommy multiple times. When Goodnight Mommy is also a direct ripoff of A Tale of Two Sisters.
well, and also, do you mind if I spoil something for you about this home invasion movie that I haven't seen, but something I have heard about it?
Go for
Please.
it.
Is that there's a scene in the Dutch Speak No Evil where a character is asked why they're doing this, and they say, because I could. It's just like straight up the thing
Because
from
you
Strangers.
were home, yeah.
It's really, really weird.
Zoinks! Wait, is it really? Is the original from 2022?
I thought it was. It might be.
Speak No Evil,
I thought it was like
2022
15 or
film.
something. That's nuts.
Here's a
Zoinks.
horror movie I was curious about. Have you guys seen Come Play? The horror movie Come Play? Because it looked interesting. There's a short called I think it's called Larry or whatever it's called. But then they made that movie Come Play, that sounded interesting to me because it has
Gillian
Jacobs in it. That's right.
And I really like her as an actor. But
yeah,
no,
I'd love
for
to
some
see
reason
her
I didn't
in this
go out
Come
and
Play
see
movie.
it.
And I tried Googling Gillian Jacobs' Come Play, and I didn't like what. Actually, I really liked what I saw. But,
I see the critter. The critter is cute.
Critter's cute. It's an interesting idea, right? It's centered around all the devices and the Come Play on the devices. So I was curious if either of you had seen this Come Play movie.
I never got out there and saw
Yeah.
Come Play.
Oh, wait. Now I see what I was doing wrong.
Oh my God, there's like a behind the scenes thing of the puppet from that movie. Oh my God, he's so
monster?
big.
Oh, that's
I
dope.
believe his name
Yeah.
is Larry.
His name
that's
is Larry. Yeah.
Yeah, hell
Is
yeah.
it actually Larry?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Well, I still haven't seen. I haven't seen Alien Romulus. I've only seen
I am
behind the scenes
seeing
footage
that
of it, which makes it
tonight.
look like a gas.
I'm seeing
You
that.
are?
I am.
Shit,
Yes.
I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm behind on all of my films. The last thing I saw
I'm
was
also behind on the
Substance
films.
with Aaron, which I'm glad I saw in a theater, even if it.
That's a current movie. You're not behind. It's a current movie.
No, but
Yeah.
like for the past, everyone being like, you have to see Long Legs. I have not seen Long Legs. so-
I was thinking about Alien the other day. It's such a testament to what a great idea it is that it can survive so many fucking awful films, and yet I'm still excited to like see an Alien movie. But there's so many bad Alien films out there.
I think that there's a really heady strain of Ridley Scott apologia that makes Prometheus and Covenant acceptable to people, because I find them to be completely unacceptable films.
I felt, yes, they're bad. Prometheus felt worse than Covenant to me, but it's been a while since I've seen either. But I saw Covenant actually with Twerp while we were on tour, so that was a fun experience. Prometheus was just like, what the fuck are you thinking? What is going on here? Whereas Covenant, I had a better time watching it, even though it is deeply stupid in a billion different ways.
I think seeing Prometheus in theaters was such a formative experience in what the fuck is happening. Why did they do this?
Because you would have been pretty young at the time, right?
Yeah, I would have been teens.
Was
I remember
it 2012? Is that
over,
when Prometheus came out?
maybe I think earlier, like 2011 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, very. I remember it being like a see with your family around Thanksgiving movie was the context,
Yes.
and we were all similarly baffled.
And it's such a bummer because it adds so much context to this shit from the fucking Alien movie. Like
That you didn't need.
But you didn't need, and like, oh, it's the space jockey is like, oh, that's a suit. Oh, what? You know, all this stuff where they just fucked up so much stuff they didn't need to touch.
No, I feel like I have a very heady strain of atheism that's not Reddit style, but like I've had it when I was a child. I was such like a cartoonish atheist when I was like 5 that like for me with I've seen a lot of people sort of retroactively continuitizing the
You
film.
can say Attack of Khan.
They're kind of Kobayashi Maruing.
Hell
the
yeah,
movie.
there we go. Nice.
Where the scene where they meet the engineer for the first time and it rips Fassbender's head off and all that stuff happens.
Yeah.
People have talked about it like this is to me one of the most disturbing scenes in cinema, because can you imagine meeting God and realizing how much he hates you?
Yeah,
And-
yes.
Yeah, I guess like there are people to whom that is a disturbing idea, but when I saw that film, I was just like, "This is asinine.
Yeah.
It's fucking it's so silly."
Also totally predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. And like that is an interesting, I think in the same vein of being a kindergartner atheist, that the idea that God hates you is like, yeah, no.
Tracks.
Duh. So
Well, yeah, because like the scene is like, who is it playing Wayland in that
Guy
movie?
Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. Inexplicably, with just like a shitload of
Yeah, where
makeup.
they never
and
show him.
humiliating.
Apparently, I guess they meant to show him as a young man, and then that
They
got
did.
cut. And so he's only in old makeup, bad old age makeup for the entire movie.
And it's like they probably wanted to cast an old man at that point, but they would have had to pay Guy Ritchie so much to not be in the movie that they had to just go ahead with it.
Well, then he would have been really Richie.
I like that we both
already
made
pretty wealthy.
2 name jokes at the same time. Yours was definitely better.
Wait, Leighton, I didn't even hear
I
yours.
didn't hear yours
I'm sorry.
either. A man
said-
was speaking, so I wasn't listening.
My God.
Guy Oldman was the.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay, great.
No, it wasn't as good. Don't.
Oh,
don't quote me.
okay. Like the other actor.
Like the other
Yes.
old man. Yeah. It's a real the Penguin effect of just like
Watched one episode.
I too watched one episode. I
The
didn't.
first episode?
I just wanted to see Kristen Milotti, and I'll probably end up watching more of it just because I want to see her.
She's great. I like her. Yeah, but yeah.
I assume you both were so rattled by what you saw and the way that it sort of questioned everything you understood about, like, narrative
In the Batman universe.
filmmaking. Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
I was like, they occasionally someone mentions Wayne, and I'm like, wait a minute.
It's just like, hey, do you like The Sopranos? What if it was way, way, way worse and lacked all of the things that are interesting about The Sopranos?
I will say, I do appreciate how it just straight up picks up from the end of the Batman movie. It's not even like a kind of a oblique shared universe thing. They just they start at the end of that film, and now they're following the Penguin around. I half watched it while playing a video game, and I think that was
What were you playing?
Balatro, which I'm still
hell
into.
yeah.
Nice. But their episodes are an hour long. Oh my God, they're so long. Like, why would I want to watch this? I was gonna pop about this later. Let's skip segments today. Actually.
Let's skip segments because I didn't prepare anything.
No one wants to do it. I've been watching Evil, the TV show, with it's a Michael Emerson show. I
love that.
I like Michael Emerson a lot. It's him. It's Mike Coulter, aka Luke Cage.
Oh, I love him.
He's great. He's so good. He's great. Asif Manvi also fantastic.
That's great.
The lead actor, I guess I had seen her in Westworld, Katja Herbers, something like that. She's Dutch. I didn't know her.
I do recognize her. Yeah.
She kind of looks like generic white lady, but she's also very good. Does an amazing American accent, actually.
I haven't heard of this at all.
And then
neither
Andrea
have I.
Martin shows up in the second season as a nun, and I fucking love Andrea Martin. And it's really stupid and fun.
I feel bad.
The creature design looks great.
Some very cool creature design. It's like basically it's a procedural, but they're hired by the Catholic Church to go investigate like possessions and prophets and kind of Catholic adjacent things. Mike Coulter's character is a seminarian, and so he's studying to be a priest. He's very devout. Asif Manvi is like their tech guy who's a skeptic. Katja Herbers is like a psychologist who's a skeptic, and Michael Emerson plays what's his name? Leland Townsend.
Great name for him.
Who is also a psychologist, but the show is very cagey about is there anything supernatural happening or not, in a very deliberate way. Like a lot of the so-called supernatural things kind of get explained away, but did they really? It kind of walks this line in a way that's not annoying, at least not one season in. And Michael Emerson plays, at least at the point of viewing I've seen, a guy who is just an agent of evil. He is trying to do bad in the world in as many ways as possible. And there's a lot of
That's a good role for him.
There's a lot of he plays it, oh, he's being so nice to you. Why ever would you I am personally offended that you would think that about me. And then he goes and does some super evil shit when no one's looking. It's a really fun role.
That's my favorite thing in the world. That's like my favorite character trait. It works on me every time.
I totally agree, and he is incredible at it because he's got that he's got the widow's peak and this kind of mousy thing, but he can turn on a dime and get fucking evil, like Ben Linus style from Lost. I love Michael Emerson. I
love him so much.
Do they play Hello Zep in this show?
They do not.
It would be so funny if it popped up.
I need the edit, like the finale of the show. The strains of Hello Zep just start coming in.
I think you guys may like Evil because for me they don't show enough Michael Emerson because that's impossible, but I think it's a really fun show. I've been having a great
What's
time
it
watching it.
on?
There are 2 seasons on Netflix, and I believe they just finished their 4th and final season. So
Okay.
it's like 50 episodes ish total. And
Did you
I've
say
seen the
50 or 15?
50 total among all 4 seasons. So it's like 13-ish episodes a season.
Oh, how long are the
Okay.
episodes?
45 minutes ish.
Okay, that's a lot of. How have I never heard of this show?
I saw the
Yeah, I have not heard of it at
thumbnail
all.
with Michael Emerson in it, and I was like, that sounds intriguing. And then someone, I saw some post, someone was like, this is actually kind of worth watching.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really like
I
it.
watched the first 2 of the Fallout TV show, and
Yeah, I've been meaning to get back to that.
spoiler, it's a major plot device, so it's not that much of a spoiler, but Michael Emerson's character is introduced and dies in the 2nd episode.
Yeah.
And once I realized there was no more Michael Emerson, I was like, you know what, I'm good.
I watched all of Person of Interest, which, another like procedural-ish type, drama with Jim Caviezel, who turns out maybe to be a little bit of a nut job. But also Michael Emerson, who's great. And he's playing a good guy. But
That's nice to see.
yeah.
You want to see him start bad and make good, Ben Linus style.
Yes. Here, I don't know what direction he's going, but he's just wreaking chaos in the world, or wreaking havoc, I guess is what people usually say. Yeah, I think evil is fun.
Hell yeah!
It's just like demonology, X-Files kind of.
Yeah, pretty. There's a lot leaning very heavily into the Catholic mythology of it. Oh, there's also
I'm a sucker for that.
I can't remember the actor's name. He has a double M name who plays an incubus, and the incubus's name is George. And whenever he's on screen, he's like, "Hey, it's George." So anyway, it's such a funny character, and he's wearing this like.
Oh yeah, I've seen the critter.
Is
this Marty Matulis?
That's the
who I
one.
don't know
Yes.
anything about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just this very casual. Hi, it's George again. Anyway, and then he does something super awful and evil. It's such a funny way to play that character.
I like that.
Yeah.
That must be so fun. I mean, aside from having to get totally done up.
Right. Yeah. But I love the idea of you're in a makeup chair for God knows how many hours, and then you're just kind of like, here. I'm such a sucker for that. It's almost like the Hellboy type thing where, they're just playing it very real and chill, and you're like, what? I like that kind of disconnect. Yeah. So.
Speaking of which, there's a new Hellboy movie. There's another new
straight
Hellboy
to streaming.
Movie
Yes.
that looks like a contractual obligation thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like they were going to lose the license.
Yeah,
if they
like a
didn't
Dick
make
Tracy
Hellboy
type
movie.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, truly. Which is what they should have done. They should have just gotten an actor in makeup and had them do an interview.
Hey, what up? It's Hellboy here.
Yeah.
I'm going to rap at you again.
Welcome to Hot Ones.
Yeah.
That would be great, actually. Just do Hellboy Hot Ones, and that's the movie. Keeping the license.
Oh, that would be it. Yeah, I like that idea a lot because he's hot, right? He can handle the fire. Yeah.
I bet people are going to start doing Hot Ones for that reason. Like, it's just going to be like a career obligation thing.
Didn't Peter Griffin just do one?
From
Peter
Family
Griffin
Guy?
just did one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
It sucks.
Well, Brian, I want to be considerate of the time that you have to edit this episode as much as I could continue
Yes.
talking for 6 more hours.
This would be a nice. I think I love talking to you both. We could talk about this for hours. Jory, shut up.
I know but I think that we could probably.
Please, no. Waste my time. Go.
I was actually just doing a wasting your time bit. I didn't actually have anything to say.
No,
you called me on it.
We truly could talk for hours more, but I do want to edit this since I'm leaving. I'm going to Las Vegas tomorrow.
Oh.
Not instead of.
I like to call it lost wages.
Well, instead of leaving Las Vegas, I'll be arriving in Las Vegas. Yeah. I'm going to go to SciCon, the Skeptics, the Center for Inquiry Con or something like that. And I'm seeing all my buddies from the Skeptics Guide to the Universe and going to chill there with them for a few days.
Cool.
What's the Steely Dan song where they talk about lost wages? Is the song just called Lost Wages?
Is it? I don't. My
While
knowledge
the poor
of
people sleeping with the shade on the light.
Which one? I don't
Never
know.
mind. It might just be called Lost Wages. I don't know.
I don't either. But yes, so I'm going to Las Vegas, driving out tomorrow morning. So I got to edit this tonight. Anyway, since
But
yes,
a peach of mine that I'll be holding on to is that I can't wait to watch Poltergeist with you.
yes,
Aw.
that's.
Yeah,
I was
likewise.
looking forward to it today, but we will do that next week.
And
So-
I was a little
Yeah.
disappointed that we weren't going to do it at night because there's a special flavor to night recordings, true to the name of the show.
Well, we could do
correct.
it some evening next week. We could do it. We can figure that out. Maybe next Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm down for
That
it.
works for me.
But regardless, we will see you next week with a wonderful main feed luxury of a commentary
Ooh,
with our dear friend
indeed.
Jory Griffis. Jory, thank you
How
for your time
indulgent.
today.
So happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Would you like to plug the homebody thing one more time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I actually think it wasn't in the episode when I talked about it earlier.
It'll be in the bumper, but
The game that we made, Homebody, with our friends in the team at Game Grumps, is going to have a limited physical edition for Switch and PS5 from Limited Run Games. And it's going to be going up for pre-order on October 25th. No. Yes? Oh my God, it's
Yes.
October 25th this Friday. That
It
sounded
is,
wrong
yeah.
to my brain
That's
because
right,
that's so
yeah.
late
I
into
know.
the
so
month.
today.
It's because Rachel's
Today!
Well, an easy way to remember that is Rachel's birthday, which I'm sure you guys called her on. Maybe even sent her a card.
I
Did you send her a
sent
card?
something in the post, so it probably will be arriving
The post.
today.
The post. Don't calm down. The post. We call it the mail here. Anyway, it's 4 days after Rachel's birthday, the 21st of October.
Gotcha.
But
Yep.
check it out right now.
Go get
Use
it.
your browser to look at it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well,
in-
thanks everyone.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jory. Have a spooktacular October. Bye.
Goodbye.
Late Night is produced by Brian Wecht and Leighton Gray. Sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/LeightonNight. Follow us on Twitter at LeightonNight, on Instagram at Leighton_night, or email us at LeightonNight@gmail.com.